Hello, hello. Welcome to CEO Insights. With me is Andy Quck. Andy, welcome to the show.
Good to see you, Vitaly. Thanks for having me.
Andy, we've been talking for a while, and I've been preparing you. I prepare all my guests, and this is a disclosure, right? This is reality TV, and I ask tough questions, and sometimes I'm even a little bit of a pain in the butt because I keep digging for. And Andy, I know you spent 30 years in a very complex industry, in the energy industry, and so you have a lot of experience in this very complicated industry. And I want to talk about this new wave of automation called AI. Both me and you, I mean, I spent in telcos, so I understand, it's hard to change large organizations. But let's imagine our audience listening to this. And by the way, utilities are not the only ones that have to change. A lot of manufacturers, a lot of large organizations that are complex, they don't like redoing things, or there is a whole lot of risk around AI as well. We don't talk about it. So first of all, tell us in the energy field, if as a previous executive in that field, where would be the most effective use of AI?
Well, I would say number one is to be able to support the efficient operations of the utility, specifically in reliability, for example. Being able to use AI and all the data that's available at utilities to predict, when problems might occur on the grid, both for operational support of managing the grid and also planning. AI is a really great tool to help with reliability of the system.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. And why reliability? Why is this such a pain point for not just for the utilities, but also for the customers? I mean, what is it around reliability that's critical?
Well, I mean, reliability is one of the core responsibilities utility has. So, reliable power, affordable power, are part of why utilities exist, and that's its purpose. And that's what customers expect. They expect the lights on, and they expect to pay for the electricity service at a reasonable cost. So, reliability is what customers expect from their utility.
Okay. And then if maybe give me, because you spend literally a lot of time, I mean, reliability is, there are many aspects of it's a very complicated system. There is the actual energy generation, there is distribution, there is resellers. Where in that value chain would be the most critical part of AI adoption?
Well, I would say it goes, if you look at the value chain of utility, beginning from a generation perspective, because you think about reliability of your generation. If you have unreliable generation, that's going to affect more customers. So it kind of goes from generation, transmission, and distribution in that order are going to have, you're going to have the greatest impact in improving generation reliability of, let's say, a gas power generation station or nuclear. Same thing with then transmission, because that affects a lot of people, and distribution less so. So that's sort of where the priorities are of reliability and where AI can be applied.
That makes total sense. In other words, you're saying go to the source, like the power plant itself, right? Because that's where every little bit matters, right? Even a small variation in reliability then affects the whole network.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you for that. That's already give us an understanding. And in your, I mean, I just want to delve into your experience. I mean, you've done this in maybe not in an AI way, but you've done the reliability projects probably for years, right? So this is not like new. Maybe can you think of something how did you deal with reliability in the past?
Yeah, I mean it's not a new kind of use case. AI brings a new dimension to how you can solve reliability problems. It can add another layer of sophistication for sure. Um, but utilities operate their infrastructure using a lot of data, and there's a lot of digital data. So in any part of the flow of electricity, there's lots of equipment. A lot of that is sending data signals that then can be interpreted using, data science, machine learning models to help identify, to address an issue before it happens.
So really what I think what you're saying is preventative maintenance, analysis of the data from the plant with a kind of view towards preventative maintenance is one of the critical applications.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if you can, depending on what the particular piece of equipment is or the system is, if it fails, it could be something very significant, right? And it could be an extended outage for a period of time, let's say at a power station. But if you're able to reliably predict when a critical piece of infrastructure is at risk of failing and remediate the issue proactively, you're going to avoid downtime. And you're also going to avoid a lot of costs because it costs a lot less to remediate an issue before it happens compared to waiting for it to break.
You reminded me, so I worked with oil and gas company a while back, and with particularly the drilling part, a drill may cost them, $10 million. I mean, this is not a joke because I mean, it's a very sophisticated apparatus, and those drills, I mean, they do break actually. I mean, people think is
Yeah.
they're indestructible, they do break, and if it breaks and it's in the middle of ocean, the rig, may take not months, but days, definitely days to fix. By the time they fix it, it's millions of dollars down the drain because the production is stopped. So
Yep.
preventative maintenance, what we had to do, I mean, we had big data analytics because the heat of it's all very sophisticated. You need to measure the temperature of the, etc. But you can predict when the drills could possibly break, okay, with some modeling. And so we had an application of we would model it. We'd
Mm.
look at the stresses and the strains. I don't know. I'm not that technical, but that application would literally live monitor that drill and say, listen, within the next day or so, this drill needs to be replaced. It's actually there's a
Mhm.
fracture or whatever, and that would save us literally millions of dollars other than doing it when it's already broken and try to look for. Because also it's a
Yeah.
remote rig. It's not like it's on land. It's sitting there in the
Yeah.
middle of ocean.
And there's also the safety element too. Some of
That's right.
these larger pieces of equipment, when they fail catastrophically, can cause damage not to just property but to people. So there's
Yeah,
also a safety risk and an opportunity to prevent those sort of incidents.
absolutely. Now multiply it to it's a nuclear power plant, right? So,
Mhm.
right, those of us listening, like, I was actually at Chernobyl, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and so before it blew up.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
Not many people can claim that.
yeah, and then I saw what will happen afterwards. So I mean, that's a radical case. I mean, we're not trying to prevent, but nuclear power plants is like 100-fold, right? Risk in terms of
Mhm. Yep.
this issue. So, anything else just before we finish off? Beside reliability, is anything else? I think you're talking about documentation and generally how to support organizations like that. What about other applications of AI?
Yeah, well, certainly within utilities, applications across the entire value chain. We talked about reliability, whether it's reliability of equipment, the grid, the transmission system, the distribution system. But there's a lot of other opportunities to make utilities more efficient from an affordability perspective. So a lot of opportunities to streamline cost, a lot of opportunities to improve productivity, and ultimately shows up as more affordable from a cost perspective when it shows up in your bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, thank you so much. Really appreciate your wisdom. I mean, 30 years of, yeah, and you probably have so much in your head. We will have to we have to have you back and then keep mining your wisdom that's been there.
Happy to do it. Glad to be here, Vitaly. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Bye.